Welcome back, time travelers. I can see I piqued your interest in the last video. So let's get right into it. We're going to be heading back 199 years to 1824 when the revolutionary forces under the leadership of the Venezuelan Antonio Jose de Sucre defeated the Spanish Royal Army. At the Battle of Ayacucho. Now let's move forward in time 44 years to London. To 1868 is when the world's first traffic light was built near Westminster Bridge in London. However, we knew there was a however or but coming. It was removed a month later after a gas leak caused one of the lights to explode. Come along with me to the next event 66 years after this event in the same country. Welcome back to England, but in 1934. This is when British actress Judi Dench, who was known for her numerous and varied roles, was born. Come along to our next stop in time has two events. We're going forward in time just 4 years in time to 1938 when the English International Conference of American States convened at Lima, Peru. Also in 1938, a manifesto laying down the foundation principles of national life was signed on behalf of the United States, United and National Parties. After these two events, let's go forward in time by a year to 1939. This is when the Royal Canadian Air Force announced 6,500 applicants since September. Now we take a brief stop and check in with the Senate in 1943. Now that we made it to 1943, let's check in with the Senate, who overruled Director of Economics Stabilization Vision and approved by 74-4 vote, paying increase to 8 cents per hour for non-operating railroad employees. Wow. Okay. Let's move on, shall we? We're going forward in time by 15 years to 1958 and two events that happened in the United States. In 1958, the John Birch Society was founded in the United States by Robert H. W. Welch, Jr. to combat communism and promote various alternative causes. Also, in 1958, the U.S. Federal Guard jury in Washington, D.C. indicted Bernard Goldfein for contempt of Congress. Now that we have visited the United States, why don't we visit Tangiacoa, which is now Tanzania, in 1961. 1961 is when Tanawakia or however you pronounce that, became independent with Julius Nyerere as its first prime minister, and in 1964, the territory united with the island of Zanzibar to form Tanzania. Okay, now that we have seen the birth of a nation, why don't we head to 1965 and American television? In 1965 is when the animated special A Charlie Brown Christmas, featuring characters from the Charles Schulz popular Peanuts comic strip, first aired on American television and in turn became a holiday classic. Well, I know that there was other Charlie Brown holiday specials that wound up turning into classics. Now let's head to 1976 and Congress. In 1976 was when Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives voted unanimously to investigate charges that South Korean agents had sought to bribe members of Congress. Now let's head forward in time by 3 years to 1979. In 1979, some 10 years after the World Health Organization began a global vaccination program against smallpox. The disease was officially declared eradicated. I know in the United States we do a various before we can go to school or even enroll our children in school. We have to have all these various vaccines. I have a friend that lives in England. She says that they hold a chickenpox party in hopes that if their friend who has a child that happens to have the chickenpox, they're hoping that their child would catch smallpox from them. This way they can get it and have it over with. Let's go to the 90s and two events. 1990, Lech Walesa was elected president of Poland. On this day in 1990, Lech Walesa, who had led Solidarity, Poland's first independent trade union, and had received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1983, won Poland's first direct presidential election by a landslide. Also in 1990, I know I'm going to completely botch this, Slobodan was re-elected president of Serbia at the head of the Socialist Party, formed by the League of Communists of Serbia, or LCS. Now we're going to travel 8 years to 1998, when the UN General Assembly declared anti-Semitism a form of racism. Now we're traveling to South Korea in 18 years to 2016. In 2016, the South Korean President Park Geun-hye was impeached by the National Assembly and amid allegations of corruption. She left office the following year after the country's constitutional court upheld the parliamentary decision. And with that, we bring us to our current history. And I'm honestly thinking that I like how I have this set up, and I'm going to continue with this. Until the next video,